Hey everyone, this is Steve, or Hair Captain from YouTube, as you probably know me. I just decided to make another video again after a long time because I realized that it has been a long time and I've just been busy with college and everything else lately. So, first I've decided to tell you a little bit about what's going on right now and what I'm going to be reviewing today. But for now, I actually used to run a lot, but I decided to stop doing that for whatever reason. I really forgot why now, but I did. And I ran for the first time today in probably 2 years, and let me tell you something. If you're one of those people that think that, you haven't been running for a few years and then, oh yeah, I'll go running again and I'll get the same results as I did when I've been running regularly like 3 years ago. Wrong. Okay? It doesn't work that way. It was pretty difficult. I used to run miles in maybe 4 minutes and 20 seconds when I was in shape and I was fit and I was constantly training every week, but I'm a long ways away from that now. I'm just getting older now, and my body weight is overcoming my leg power, so we have to even that out again. But let me stop talking about that now. Um, what I'm going to review today, you may be familiar with, is the Walther PPK. Now, I know I've already done a previous review on this gun, but it was by Crossman, and the Crossman version used CO2 canisters to fire, which it shot metal BBs. This model is all steel as well, just like the Crossman version, but it doesn't have a knob at the bottom, and it actually has a proper magazine, no more thin, slimline looking magazine in the gun. The other thing about the gun is, on the slide, it has no safety warning or Crossman logo. It simply has the Walther logo and trademark of, Karl Walther, Germany, what have you, and it actually has its own serial number as well. There's no fake, weird, stupid anything printed on it whatsoever, so it's a very realistic looking gun, except for the fact that the barrel diameter from the front, you would know that it's not the real thing. But let's get started with the review then, starting with the box. The box is pretty nice. I've said before I don't care much for the box anyway, but they did do it nicely. And by the way, I should have mentioned this, but it is by a Chinese company. Let me just say that, yeah, I know everybody relates something Chinese to being low quality. That may be true, but it's not true for every single example or situation. There's things or several things that are high quality that are made in China. Um, this gun I find to be very high quality for what it is. I've had no problems with the gun, and the finish on the gun is fine to me as well, and we'll see that in just a little bit. But most people associate things being made from China with a negative thing. But for this gun, it doesn't seem to be true. But again, the box is very nice looking. Pop up, they have to add James Bond in there, of course, because as far as Hollywood, he's the most known actor to carry the gun in the James Bond series. The back is interesting too. PPK 007. So let's open the box then. Pretty simple inside. You have there we go, Walther PPK. And on the bottom, we have a small bag we have a wrench in here designed to adjust the hop up. They also have a special key, which I believe may be for the hop-up as well. Actually, I've never had to use it, nor do I believe I will really ever have to use it. But there's also an extra spring in here for the magazine, and there's also some different size valve seals in here as well. So now let's get to the gun, which is very nice. Here is the Walther PPK. Let me just point out some more things I like about this model compared to the Crossman version. As I said, there's no knob. There is an actual practical, realistic looking magazine in this gun. The other thing about it is, as I said, is as far as any writings on the gun, you can't see this very well, but you can see text. What it does say is Walther, and then of course, Karl Walther, Waffenfabrik, do Model PPKS, caliber 9mm Kurz, 380 ACP, which is the American equivalent. And on the other side, I said, it has its own serial number directly under the ejection port, and further up, it says licensed trademark of Karl Walther, GmbH, Germany. And on both sides of the grip, you have the Walther logo. The other thing I like about this compared to the Crossman is, of course, the safety is functional on this gun. And not only that, but it has a red dot in there. For some reason, I was concerned that it would come without the red dot. And frankly, I would use some model paint to paint a red dot in there anyway if it didn't have one. The gun did come with an orange tip. It was a removable type. It seemed like a latex-based paint. And there are several ways to remove it, but believe it or not, I removed it all with my fingernail. There are more practical ways than doing that to remove it, but that's just how I did it. I will not be disassembling the gun because it is actually very tight-fitting. Nothing seems loose when you shake it. You only hear one slight noise, and that's the magazine, and you may not even have been able to hear that on the camera. But it can be a pain to disassemble and reassemble, so I'm not going to do that. And I've already showed you how to do that on the other model, the Crossman model. So you can refer to that, it's exactly the same. But let me remove the magazine. There are no BBs in here. There's the valve. And that's what it looks like. And the safety is functional, I said. Let me just demonstrate it. Pulling the hammer back. Checking the chamber anyway, even though we know this is an airsoft gun, I will check the chamber. There's nothing in there. And let me demonstrate the functional safety. Notice how the trigger is further back towards the frame of the gun. When I activate the safety, the hammer goes up into a safe position, and the trigger goes even slightly further back towards the frame. But as soon as I release the safety, if I can find it, the trigger goes back into the standard position. That's extremely realistic, and that's exactly what the original gun does. Let me also demonstrate the decocking feature manually. So we'll load it. Keep your thumb on the hammer, pull down slightly, squeeze the trigger, and slowly put up into position. That is also realistic to the real steel. The paint finish on the gun is very well done. There are only a few minor parts where the paint has been scratched off, but very few. Something else I forgot to mention. They did install a silver barrel as you can see from the ejection port as well. I don't typically prefer that, but of course it wasn't up to me. However, this is a nice gun to me, so I don't mind that it has a silver barrel. The gun weighs a very nice weight. It feels even. Nobody should have a problem using this gun. It's meant to be small in the first place, so it doesn't weigh very much. And as I said before, I'm not going to disassemble it because it proves to be a pain to do that, so I'm not quite going to do that. But it's a very nice gun, and it has retailed me, I believe, $160. It's a little more than the Crossman version. When I bought the Crossman about 6 years ago, it cost me about $80. So it's a significant price difference, but it's well worth it to me. So that is the Walther PPK, a Chinese-made product that is actually pretty acceptable. I don't have any major issues with this, but I also wouldn't recommend taking this anywhere outside or pointing it at anybody whatsoever, because you can believe that somebody might show up with a gun too, but only theirs will shoot something that will kill you. This will bruise you. So that is the Walther PPK. To conclude the video, I just want to talk about a new set of reviews I will probably be doing in the future. I actually have a few swords. You may be able to see one directly behind me. I should point that way. That sword behind me is actually a Civil War era sword. It is described as a foot officer's sword by the Union, not the Confederacy. So I was thinking I've decided to do that. I'm going to review some of the swords I have. I'm continuing to think of more things to review. I haven't thought of too much, but I will be reviewing the swords, at least until I do pick up another weapon to review for you guys. And as you can see as well, by the door, there's the K98. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to ask any questions or messages. Don't hesitate at all to message me if you have a question or a comment. And even if there's anything you wanted to know about as far as making a request for a video, just let me know. And until then, I will be thinking of more things to do for you guys. So this is Steve, or Hair Captain from YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed another gun review by myself, and stay tuned for more reviews in the future.